Welcome back to Pac-Manufactured, a series all about Pac-Man clones. In this episode we're taking a look at Muncher as a part of the Classic Arcadia pack for the Amiga, released in 1994 by Alternative Software. So this is one minigame in a collection of 4. They're all based on classic arcade games. They're basically just clones of old arcade games. And this is obviously the Pac-Man one. There is some other bits and pieces in here. There's a Space Invaders clone and some other crap that we don't care about. This is Muncher, and yes, it's pretty basic as clones go. All the mechanics are the same. It's very much being chased by ghosts, running around, getting all the pellets and getting everything so you can clear the stage. You can use power pills to turn the ghosts blue, which makes them vulnerable to being eaten, which you can do. It's pretty much your standard setup as far as Pac-Man goes. What makes it a little bit different is that obviously no vertical orientation. What it does instead is makes it more sort of widescreen looking. So basically just, rotates the screen round, which is quite a nice idea actually, which means obviously your teleporters are at the top and bottom of the stage, which transports you from either side of the screen. The mazes do change in design, although there are a very limited amount of designs. I think there's maybe 2 or 3. I definitely started to receive repeating designs, even though the graphics have a habit of changing as well from stage to stage. But again, they're quite limited. I think there's probably like 3 designs. But again, keeps it fresh, keeps it a little bit more interesting, does something different. Because the main mechanics are all very much the same as normal Pac-Man. The only other difference I can think of is in the fruit pickups. Some of them are just standard point bonuses, but some of them do actually do special effects. There was one which makes you invulnerable, and there's another one which basically just ends the stage early and takes it to the next stage, which is not great. It probably would have been more of an enticing power-up in a game that was a lot more difficult, but that's the main problem with this. It is so easy. I never really noticed the time, the power-up time going down from stage to stage. It always seemed like it was going at the same amount of time each stage, which was very generous, which meant it was very easy to get all the ghosts and keep them at bay. The ghosts' movement did start to speed up eventually, but it took a fair few stages for me to notice that they were getting quicker. And even then, they just weren't particularly challenging, because the moment you get a power pellet, you can just clear out all 4 very quickly, because the amount of power-up time you get is so generous. So yeah, it's fine. It's perfectly functional, but nothing special. Certainly won't be writing home to anybody about this one. But it works well enough, and the movement was good, and I felt like I was in control the entire time. Didn't feel like I had any weird stickiness. Didn't feel like I was turning into the walls and stopping in my tracks or anything like that. It felt good, but it was just very, very easy. Hilariously, there's another version of Muncher on this collection. So the collection is divided into 2. We just looked at the classic Arcadia version of Muncher, but there's also Baby Arcadia and another version of Muncher, which basically makes it incredibly more simplistic, like even more so. So the graphics have been drawn larger so that there's less pills to pick up in any sort of stage. You've still got the same mechanics. You've still got to collect the ghosts, to eat the ghosts, but the ghosts are now Care Bears for some reason, and the music is all sort of nursery rhymes rearranged, and everything is much, much easier. Because of the smaller stages, it means that when you use the power pills, you're basically just invincible for the entire stage, because there's at no point does it increase in difficulty because of how limited the real estate is to move around. Like, if you can cover the entire screen so quickly whilst being powered up, you can basically just continuously have the ghosts, or Care Bears in this instance, completely, in the spawn point the entire time. So yeah, it just makes it ridiculously easy. I like the idea of making like a infants only version of a classic arcade game, so that anybody from a very young age can pick this up and start to learn the mechanics of a classic arcade game. But there is no challenge for anybody of my vintage. It's just a weird little novelty. But yeah, it's far too easy and quite boring as a result. I can't really recommend either of these. They're perfectly fine, but they're not doing anything particularly special. The things they add don't really feel like they change the mechanics that greatly, and it's just functional. You know, it's fine. It's doing nothing wrong, but God, there's so many other better Pac-Man clones out there that I can recommend. This is just, yeah, unfortunately going to fall into the cracks and just become something quite forgettable, unfortunately.